Hello and welcome to EV Platform. My name is Derek Riley from EV Review Ireland.
And my name is Blake Bowen from EV Life Ireland. And we have what we think is an interesting show today. So Derek and myself had a loan, thanks very much to Mazda Ireland, of the new MX-30 for a week. Now Derek did a fantastic review on his own channel and you get all the detail and specs on that one. But what we wanted to look at today was something that a lot of people are criticizing Mazda for, and it's the size of the battery in the car and also how fast it charges. But we just wanted to play devil's advocate and ask, is this race for bigger batteries the right way to go, and are we using our resources in the right way? So stay tuned as I take the car out on the road for a few minutes, and then myself and Derek will have a chat in the studio about it afterwards. Mazda MX-30. How do we know it's actually electric? We've got the badge on the back, eSky Active. Got a little sticker here, and it really is just a sticker. There's nothing permanent about that at all that says it's electric. The dial's inside as well, you'll notice. And then also, if we pop the... Okay, we have a look underneath. We can have a look at the motor. Yeah, this goes to make some people think that it really is a bit of an afterthought as an electric car. Look at the cavernous amount of space in here. They really could have done a little bit more work, shifting things around. You easily would have got a frunk in there, or even shift the whole car forward and give you that bit of extra and probably necessary space inside. Aesthetically, I quite like the car. It looks big, bold on the road, nice big wheels. I really like the front as well. I like this little bit of floating chrome that we have just here. Cuts in underneath the grille. Mazda badge is nice and big. A little bit of plastic, fantastic down the end, but that's okay. Air intake there. They obviously had a mind on future design. So we come around the side as well. You can see nice big wheels on it. I like the alloys as well. With firm tires, you've got this like flare of plastic just around here. It makes the arches seem a little bit bigger than they actually are. Plastic again, but that's all right. So you come around the side, sleek as well. You've got the door panels come up a little bit higher, makes the car appear anyways as if it's sitting quite high. Got effectively four-tone. You've got your bit of black plastic, body colour. You got this silver streak that comes down to the top, and then the black is black roof as well. Also reflected in the two door panels just here. If we open it up as well, I think it looks absolutely fantastic from the side. It's a pretty cool view. We'll get around to talking about space at some stage as well. Yeah. Come around the back. They've put a bit of effort in as well. The light features. It's a lot of shape as well. It's not just one continuous panel that goes across. It sits up high. Once again, a little bit of plastic fantastic down the end there. But then again, you're going to be getting bumps, little dings, scratches. You don't want to. Expensive replacements. Lift up the boot as well. As I lift that, you can see the camera just there, rear facing. And into the boot. The interior of the MX-30 now is really where it starts to take a bit of a shine. I know I like the outside, most people do, but the materials that they're using in here are quality. You take the fabrics of the seat, recycled PET plastics, they feel absolutely great, luxurious, vegan leather, and the stitching is absolutely lovely. There's a real sense of quality in this wear. Across the dash as well, the materials are lovely. The screen gloss back, nice bit of a chrome panel that runs all the way down as well. Continues on throughout the steering wheel and some detail on the buttons. It's a nice place to be. It's comfortable. Everything feels sturdy, quality. There's no squeaks, there's no rattles here as well. Steering wheel feels good and strong. There's the right amount of buttons as well. Driving the Mazda MX-30, it's very, very comfortable. I mean, it's got a nice comfortable armrest. Steering wheel feels nice. Weight of the steering is quite solid. I like it. It takes bumps and ramps very, very comfortably. So let's talk acceleration and performance in the MX-30. It is brisk, but not exciting. So when you plant your foot, you're getting a 105 kilowatt motor kicking in. That's putting out 141 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque, which is absolutely fine. But one of the issues is that this car is 2.11 tons. So it's a lot of weight to be pulling around. And another thing as well, and I know a lot of people are actually going to like this, me personally, I'm not a fan. It's what essentially is a fake noise. So when you plant your foot on the accelerator, as I'm about to do, Mazda have put an artificial tuned engine sound. And it feels a tiny bit sluggish in the sense that when you plant your foot, it reminds me of being in a combustion engine car. When you plant your foot and the revs are only at 2,000 or 3,000, you don't get all the power. You kind of have to wait until it builds up. And both the sound and the surge of acceleration seem to reflect that. I'm quite happy to be proved wrong on that one. Now, one of the things I want to talk about in this car is regen. That's regenerative braking. I'm quite particular about this. It's a personal thing, but I'm really into regen braking. In this car, I'm finding it absolutely brilliant. It's seamless between friction brakes when you do need them, and the regen. Another thing as well, they're controlled by flappy paddles here just behind the steering wheel. And I absolutely love that I can flick back and forth in traffic, or whether you're on motorways or on country roads, you can just easily flick between them, figure out the kind of regen that you want. And there's 5 different levels as well. This probably is one of my favorite things about the car. Now, when I got this car a couple of days ago, first thing I did was charge it right up to 100% because I wanted to see what sort of range you would actually get out of this car. Now, I've been running it around for a couple of days and I'm not quite down to 0, but we've used a significant part of the battery, and it looks like I'm getting about the 240 mark out of this. Now, pretty much all of that has been city driving, and the speeds have been fairly slow, really. So this is a kind of a best case scenario. In general, I think, in winter time, if you just popped onto the motorway every now and again, 180 to about 180 be realistic. Worst case scenario, in winter time, doing a long motorway trip, you'd be down in around the 140 kilometer mark. Now, I'm not going to say whether that's good or bad at the moment. That's up to whoever's going to buy this car to decide. So, quick mention of charging on this car. Has got a 6.6 onboard AC charger, which is absolutely fine these days. I mean, a lot of cars are coming out with 11, and then you've got the rare case of the likes of the Renault Zoe doing 22, but 6.6 is absolutely fine. Got a fully charged car in 5 hours. However, once we talk about DC and rapid charging, it's not rapid. I think Mazda let themselves down a little bit. And this, I know it's a small battery and it's not going to make a huge difference in terms of the amount of time that you're plugged in, but peaking at 37 kilowatts is not impressive. Like, even my old Nissan Leaf will pull in the high 40s. So yeah, I'm kind of underwhelmed with that. That's enough of me waffling on about the car. Tell me, how would you react to what you saw there, or any opinions on it yourself?
My turn to waffle about the car. I really liked it. I had it in left-hand drive, a German version, back at the end of last year, a real windy day, and I had it for a couple of hours. I loved the build quality. I loved the look of it. Everybody I showed it to loved the look of it as well. But it's a small battery. The back seats aren't great. The boot isn't a great size, and really I was a bit disappointed to hear then that they were going to put in a little petrol engine into it to make it a range extender. So overall, it's kind of unfortunately, it has a couple of pluses, but has a couple of minuses as well.
Yeah. And just like what we wanted to do now was kind of play devil's advocate on battery sizes. We go back, well, let's say 10 years to the original Leaf and the Zoes, then 24 kilowatt hour batteries. Then with the Leaf anyway, went up to 30 and up to 40 and onwards. And then Tesla, is 100 kilowatt hour. The new Lucid Air is 113. And Derek, what do you make of this race for bigger batteries? And is it wise? What's your take on it?
I think everybody wants the biggest battery to get them the furthest, and we want to replicate what we get from petrols and diesels and combustion engines, and it's not the right way to think about it. How often do you need that long journey? You're carrying around a big battery, and it's the same to be said for plug-in electric hybrids. People think they're great, but you're lugging around a battery that may be too big for the job. on a regular basis, on 95% basis. So we
Yeah.
really need to educate ourselves and change how we're thinking. And a couple of car reviewers are saying, isn't it great to sit into a diesel car and get 900 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers come up? And it's not. We have to start changing how we're charging our vehicles, how we're traveling, how we're commuting across the country. And maybe this smaller battery is what we should be thinking about.
Yeah, yeah. I'm fully with you on that. And then another way to think about it as well is, let's just take a 100 kilowatt hour battery that might go into a Tesla. Like I have an e-scooter, you know, which has a half a kilowatt hour battery essentially. So that you can make 200 of those scooters. You could stick a 100 kilowatt hour battery into a city bus. You know, let's say drivers are swapping over in between shifts and just stick it on a 150 kilowatt charger and top it up for the rest of the day. I don't know if you agree with that, you know, questioning whether we're using resources in the right way.
And it is like, we have people saying, oh, I'd love a family car that will carry 6 or 7 people, but like the Model X is too expensive. But you're saying, Blake, it's a limited resource. Batteries could be utilized in other places for better use, but then flip that on its head. And are we utilizing the battery that we have? Have I got a solar panel that I can use it on? Can I connect to the grid? Can I sell back cheaper electricity that I got at nighttime rates when the grid needs balancing? So let's utilize the big battery that we have.
Yeah, I think if you hit the nail on the head there, really, if we take a 100 kilowatt hour battery, that is ridiculously big for the vast majority of cases. But that's only if we're talking about actually driving the car forward. If we can come up with other ways to use that battery and say, well, okay, it's a big battery. One of its uses is to move the car around, but the other 95% of the day, when it's just sitting in a driveway or car park, we're going to do this, you know, this, and this as well. And then it kind of, oh, maybe this actually does make sense.
For sure. And we need to, it's a bigger question. Do we need to start looking at, do we need to own that car at all? Should we be using share riding apps? Should we be using mobility as a service? But this is not what we're talking about here with the Mazda MX-30. I think we're having a conversation about, should we be looking at smaller batteries and tailoring the battery size to the use case? You were saying, Blake, that you have a couple of family members that this would be perfect for.
Yeah, I do. Like, the EV nerd in me says, oh, Mazda, come on, that's a tiny battery in a 2.1 ton car. That's slow, DC charging at 37 kilowatts. Come on, you can do better in 2021. But on the other hand, I've got one family member in particular. This car, I would have no hesitation in recommending it to them. It's comfortable inside. They get to step up into it physically. For them, that's important. It's got plenty of boot space. They're not really going to use the rear seats. It looks fantastic, quality materials, and I know they would love the car, and they would probably get somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks between charges.
Like, that's exactly what you want. And the Mazda, as much as we're saying that the interface, and in my review I talk about not being happy about not having touchscreen this and all the bells and whistles, your family member probably would be delighted with it and probably thinks it's futuristic as it is.
Oh yeah, you put them in a Tesla and they will just, you know, they wouldn't want it. They just want to press, okay, I want the car warm or I want the car cold, or how do I get, you know, radio 1, and that's all they want to do with it. So yeah, I like that. The Mazda MX-30 I thought was an absolutely brilliant car for the right person. Yeah, has its downsides as well.
There was a but coming there. So Mazda, you've definitely opened and started a conversation. That's what we want to do here on EV Platform, is have these open conversations. Let us know in the comments what you think about the Mazda MX-30. Is it the perfect size battery for the majority of people? And should this be what we're looking for? Or do we all want bigger, further batteries that will get us further? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Let us know in the comments what you think. I've been Derek, and this has been EV Platform.
And thanks very much for watching. I did. I said it. I said thanks for and my timing was okay.
There was no gap there at all.